Chapter 16. Now Abram's wife Sarai had borne him no children, but she had an Egyptian servant whose name was Hagar. So Sarai said to Abram,
"Please now, Jehovah has prevented me from bearing children. Please have relations with my servant. Perhaps I can have children by means of her."
So Abram listened to what Sarai said. After Abram had lived for 10 years in the land of Canaan, Abram's wife Sarai took her Egyptian servant Hagar and gave her to her husband Abram as his wife. So he had relations with Hagar, and she became pregnant. When she realized that she was pregnant, she began to despise her mistress. At this Sarai said to Abram,
"The injury done to me is your fault. I was the one who put my servant in your arms. But when she realized that she was pregnant, she began to despise me. May Jehovah judge between me and you."
So Abram said to Sarai,
"Look, your servant is under your authority. Do to her whatever you think is best."
Then Sarai humiliated her, and she ran away from her. Later Jehovah's angel found her at a spring of waters in the wilderness, the spring on the way to Shur. And he said,
"Hagar, servant of Sarai, where have you come from, and where are you going?"
To this she said,
"I am running away from my mistress, Sarai."
Jehovah's angel then said to her,
"Return to your mistress, and humble yourself under her hand."
Then Jehovah's angel said,
"I will greatly multiply your offspring, so that they will be too numerous to count."
Jehovah's angel added,
"Here you are pregnant, and you will give birth to a son, and you must name him Ishmael, for Jehovah has heard your affliction. He will be a wild donkey of a man. His hand will be against everyone, and everyone's hand will be against him, and he will dwell opposite all his brothers."
Then she called on the name of Jehovah, who was speaking to her,
"You are a God of sight.
for she said,
Have I here actually looked upon the one who sees me?"
That is why the well was called Beer Lahai Roi. It is between Kadesh and Bered. So Hagar bore to Abram a son, and Abram named his son, whom Hagar bore, Ishmael. Abram was 86 years old when Hagar bore Ishmael to him. Chapter 17. When Abram was 99 years old, Jehovah appeared to Abram and said to him, "I am God Almighty. Walk before me and prove yourself faultless. I will establish my covenant between me and you, and I will multiply you very, very much." At this Abram fell face down, and God continued to speak with him, saying, "As for me, look, my covenant is with you, and you will certainly become a father of many nations. Your name will no longer be Abram. Your name will become Abraham. For I will make you a father of many nations. I will make you very, very fruitful, and will make you become nations, and kings will come from you. And I will keep my covenant between me and you and your offspring after you throughout their generations, for an everlasting covenant, to be God to you and to your offspring after you. And I will give to you and to your offspring after you the land in which you lived as a foreigner, the entire land of Canaan, for a lasting possession, and I will be their God." God said further to Abraham, "As for you, you are to keep my covenant, you and your offspring after you, throughout their generations. This is my covenant between me and you, that you and your offspring after you will keep. Every male among you must get circumcised. You must circumcise the flesh of your foreskins, and it will serve as a sign of the covenant between me and you. Throughout your generations, every male among you 8 days old must be circumcised. Anyone who is born in the house, and anyone who is not one of your offspring, and who is purchased with money from a foreigner. Every man born in your house, and every man purchased with your money, must be circumcised, and my covenant in your flesh must serve as a lasting covenant. If any uncircumcised male will not circumcise the flesh of his foreskin, that person must be cut off from his people. He has broken my covenant. Then God said to Abraham, As for your wife Sarai, you must not call her Sarai, because Sarah will become her name. I will bless her, and also give you a son by her. I will bless her, and she will become nations. Kings of peoples will come from her. At this Abraham fell face down, and began to laugh, and to say in his heart,
Will a man 100 years old have a child born to him? And will Sarah, a woman 90 years old, give birth?
So Abraham said to the true God,
Oh, that Ishmael might live before you.
To this God said, Your wife Sarah will definitely bear you a son, and you must name him Isaac. And I will establish my covenant with him for an everlasting covenant to his offspring after him. But as regards Ishmael, I have heard you. Look, I will bless him, and will make him fruitful, and will multiply him very, very much. He will produce 12 chieftains, and I will make him become a great nation. However, I will establish my covenant with Isaac, whom Sarah will bear to you at this appointed time next year. When God finished speaking with him, he went up from Abraham. Abraham then took Ishmael his son, and all the men born in his house, and every one he had purchased with money, every male in the household of Abraham, and he circumcised the flesh of their foreskins on that very day, just as God had spoken with him. Abraham was 99 years old when he had the flesh of his foreskin circumcised, and Ishmael his son was 13 years old when he had the flesh of his foreskin circumcised. On that very day Abraham was circumcised, and also his son Ishmael. All the men of his household, anyone born in the house, and anyone purchased with money from a foreigner, were also circumcised with him. Chapter 18. Afterward, Jehovah appeared to him among the big trees of Mamre, while he was sitting at the entrance of the tent during the hottest part of the day. He looked up and saw 3 men standing some distance from him. When he saw them, he ran from the entrance of the tent to meet them, and he bowed down to the ground. Then he said,
Jehovah, if I have found favor in your eyes, please do not pass by your servant. Please let a little water be brought and have your feet washed. Then recline under the tree. Seeing that you have come here to your servant, let me bring a piece of bread, so that you may refresh yourselves. Then you may go on your way.
At this they said,
All right, you may do as you have spoken.
So Abraham hurried to the tent to Sarah and said,
Quick, get 3 measures of fine flour, knead the dough, and make loaves of bread.
Next Abraham ran to the herd and chose a tender and good young bull. He gave it to the attendant, who hurried to prepare it. He then took butter and milk and the young bull that he had prepared and set the food before them. Then he stood by them under the tree as they were eating. They said to him,
Where is your wife, Sarah?
He replied,
Here, in the tent.
So one of them continued,
I will surely return to you next year at this time, and look, your wife Sarah will have a son.
Now Sarah was listening at the tent entrance, which was behind the man. Abraham and Sarah were old, being advanced in years. Sarah was past the age of childbearing. So Sarah began to laugh to herself, saying,
After I am worn out and my Lord is old, will I really have this pleasure?
Then Jehovah said to Abraham,
Why did Sarah laugh and say, Am I really going to give birth, even though I am old? Is anything too extraordinary for Jehovah? I will return to you next year at this appointed time, and Sarah will have a son.
But Sarah denied it, saying,
I did not laugh.
For she was afraid. At this he said,
Yes, you did laugh.
When the men got up to leave and looked down toward Sodom, Abraham was walking with them to escort them. Jehovah said,
Am I keeping hidden from Abraham what I am going to do? Why, Abraham is surely going to become a great and mighty nation, and all the nations of the earth will be blessed by means of him. For I have come to know him, in order that he may command his sons and his household after him to keep Jehovah's way, by doing what is right and just, so that Jehovah may bring about what he has promised concerning Abraham.
Then Jehovah said,
The outcry against Sodom and Gomorrah is indeed great, and their sin is very heavy. I will go down to see whether they are acting according to the outcry that has reached me, and if not, I can get to know it.
Then the men left from there and went toward Sodom, but Jehovah remained with Abraham. Then Abraham approached and said,
Will you really sweep away the righteous with the wicked? Suppose there are 50 righteous men within the city. Will you then sweep them away and not pardon the place for the sake of the 50 righteous who are inside it? It is unthinkable that you would act in this manner, by putting the righteous man to death with the wicked one, so that the outcome for the righteous man and the wicked is the same. It is unthinkable of you. Will the judge of all the earth not do what is right?
Then Jehovah said,
If I find in Sodom 50 righteous men in the city, I will pardon the whole place for their sake.
But Abraham again responded,
Please, here I have presumed to speak to Jehovah, whereas I am dust and ashes. Suppose the 50 righteous should lack 5. Because of the 5, will you destroy the whole city?
To this he said,
I will not destroy it if I find there 45.
But yet again he spoke to him and said,
Suppose 40 are found there.
He answered,
I will not do it for the sake of the 40.
But he continued,
Jehovah, please do not become hot with anger, but let me go on speaking. Suppose only 30 are found there.
He answered,
I will not do it if I find 30 there.
But he continued,
Please, here I have presumed to speak to Jehovah. Suppose only 20 are found there.
He answered,
I will not destroy it for the sake of the 20.
Finally he said,
Jehovah, please do not become hot with anger, but let me speak just once more. Suppose only 10 are found there.
He answered,
I will not destroy it for the sake of the 10.
When Jehovah finished speaking to Abraham, he went his way, and Abraham returned to his place. Chapter 19. The 2 angels arrived at Sodom by evening, and Lot was sitting in the gate of Sodom. When Lot saw them, he got up to meet them, and bowed down with his face to the earth. And he said,
Please, my lords, turn aside, please, into the house of your servant, and stay overnight, and have your feet washed. Then you may get up early and travel on your way.
To this they said,
No, we will stay overnight in the public square.
But he was so insistent with them that they went with him to his house. Then he made a feast for them, and he baked unleavened bread, and they ate. Before they could lie down to sleep, the men of the city, the men of Sodom from boy to old man, all of them, surrounded the house in one mob. And they kept calling out to Lot and saying to him,
"Where are the men who came into you tonight?
Bring them out to us, so that we may have sex with them."
Then Lot went out to them to the doorway, and he shut the door behind him. He said,
"Please, my brothers, do not act wickedly. Please, here I have 2 daughters who have never had sexual relations with a man. Please let me bring them out to you, for you to do to them whatever seems good to you. But do not do anything to these men, for they have come under the shelter of my roof."
At this they said,
"Stand back."
and they added,
"This lone foreigner came to live here, and yet he dares to judge us. Now we are going to do worse to you than to them."
And they crowded in on Lot and moved forward to break down the door. So the men reached out their hands and brought Lot into the house with them, and they shut the door. But they struck the men who were at the entrance of the house with blindness, from the least to the greatest, so that they wore themselves out trying to find the doorway. Then the men said to Lot,
"Do you have anyone else here? Sons-in-law, your sons, your daughters, and all your people in the city. Bring out of this place.
For we are going to destroy this place, because the outcry against them has indeed grown great before Jehovah, so that Jehovah sent us to destroy the city."
So Lot went out and began to speak to his sons-in-law, who were to marry his daughters. And he kept saying,
"Get up, get out of this place, because Jehovah will destroy the city."
But to his sons-in-law he seemed to be joking. As dawn was breaking, the angels became urgent with Lot, saying,
Get up! Take your wife and your 2 daughters who are here with you, so that you will not be swept away in the error of the city.
When he kept lingering, then because of Jehovah's compassion for him, the men seized hold of his hand, and the hand of his wife, and the hands of his 2 daughters, and they brought him out and stationed him outside the city. As soon as they had brought them to the outskirts, he said,
Escape for your life. Do not look behind you, and do not stand still in any part of the district. Escape to the mountainous region so that you may not be swept away.
Then Lot said to them,
"Not there, please, Jehovah. Please now, your servant has found favor in your eyes, and you are showing great kindness to me by preserving me alive. But I am not able to flee to the mountainous region, because I am afraid that disaster may overtake me, and I will die. Please now, this town is nearby, and I can flee there. It is only a small place. May I please escape there? It is only a small place. Then I will survive."
So he said to him,
Very well. I will also show you consideration by not overthrowing the town you speak of. Hurry, escape there, because I cannot do anything until you arrive there.
That is why he named the town Zoar. The sun had risen over the land when Lot arrived at Zoar. Then Jehovah made it rain sulfur and fire on Sodom and Gomorrah. It came from Jehovah, from the heavens. So he overthrew these cities, yes, the entire district, including all the inhabitants of the cities and the plants of the ground. But Lot's wife, who was behind him, began to look back, and she became a pillar of salt. Now Abraham got up early in the morning and went to the place where he had stood before Jehovah. When he looked down towards Sodom and Gomorrah and all the land of the district, he saw quite a sight. There was dense smoke rising from the land, like the dense smoke of a kiln. So when God destroyed the cities of the district, God kept Abraham in mind by sending Lot out from the cities he overthrew, the cities where Lot had been dwelling. Later, Lot went up from Zoar with his 2 daughters and began living in the mountainous region, because he was afraid to live in Zoar. So he began living in a cave with his 2 daughters. And the firstborn said to the younger,
Our father is old, and there is not a man in the land to have relations with us, according to the custom of the whole earth. Come, let us give our father wine to drink, and let us lie down with him, and preserve offspring from our father.
So that night they kept giving their father wine to drink. Then the firstborn went in and lay down with her father. But he did not know when she lay down and when she got up. Then on the next day the firstborn said to the younger,
Here I lay down with my father last night. Let us give him wine to drink tonight also. Then you go in and lie down with him, and let us preserve offspring from our father.
So that night also they repeatedly gave their father wine to drink. Then the younger went and lay down with him. But he did not know when she lay down and when she got up. So both daughters of Lot became pregnant by their father. The firstborn gave birth to a son and named him Moab. He is the father of the Moabites of today. The younger also gave birth to a son, and she named him Ben-Ammi. He is the father of the Ammonites of today. Chapter 20. Now Abraham moved his camp from there to the land of the Negeb, and began dwelling between Kadesh and Shur. While he was residing at Gerar, Abraham repeated concerning his wife Sarah,
She is my sister.
So Abimelech, king of Gerar, sent for Sarah and took her. Afterward God came by night to Abimelech in a dream, and said to him, Here you are as good as dead, because of the woman whom you have taken, since she is married and belongs to another man. However, Abimelech had not gone near her. So he said,
Jehovah, will you kill a nation that is really innocent? Did he not say to me, She is my sister, and did she too not say, He is my brother? I did this with an honest heart and innocent hands.
Then the true God said to him in the dream, I know that you did this with an honest heart, so I held you back from sinning against me. That is why I did not allow you to touch her. Now return the man's wife, for he is a prophet, and he will make supplication for you, and you will keep living. But if you are not returning her, know that you will surely die, you and all who are yours. Abimelech got up early in the morning and called all his servants and told them all these things, and they became very frightened. Then Abimelech called Abraham and said to him,
What have you done to us? What sin have I committed against you that you would bring upon me and my kingdom such a great sin? What you have done to me was not right.
And Abimelech went on to say to Abraham,
What were your intentions when you did this thing?
Abraham said,
It was because I said to myself, Surely there is no fear of God in this place, and they will kill me because of my wife. And besides, she really is my sister, the daughter of my father, but not the daughter of my mother, and she became my wife. So when God caused me to wander from the house of my father, I said to her, Let this be how you show loyal love to me. Everywhere we go, say of me, He is my brother.
Abimelech then took sheep and cattle, and male and female servants, and gave them to Abraham, and he returned his wife Sarah to him. Abimelech also said,
Here my land is available to you. Dwell wherever you please.
And to Sarah he said,
Here I give 1,000 pieces of silver to your brother. It is a sign of your innocence to all who are with you and before everybody, and you are cleared of reproach.
And Abraham began to make supplication to the true God, and God healed Abimelech and his wife and his slave girls, and they began having children. For Jehovah had made all the women of the house of Abimelech barren, because of Sarah, Abraham's wife.